Hello everyone. Welcome to this live session on the future with AI. I would like to express my thank you for the teachers who have done an amazing job during this pandemic by not stopping the education during this entire lockdown. Thank you again. My name is Hiren Desai, and I work as a solution architect at Dev Information Technology Limited. I'm having 8 years of experience, and I've been working on different with different clients on different projects, which varies from medium to enterprise size clients. Lately, what we have seen is so many customers that reaches to us. They have been talking about projects or their products around AI and how they want to disrupt a business or a specific segment of our lives. So it is important that we discuss about the AI, about the AI, and how it can affect our life in the future, or even today as well. So we'll discuss about that as we progress through. So let me share my screen. I'll walk you through the slide deck, and we can talk about a different aspect of artificial intelligence. So like I said, we are here for the topic around the future with AI. So as part of the entire session, will talk about what is AI, what are different branches in the AI, and how in today's world how we are using different applications. Those are built on top of AI by using the AI technologies. What are different applications in the field of education, how it can affect students, how it can affect teachers, with the help of AI. And then finally, probably we'll see the questionnaires. I think we won't be able to communicate directly through the session, but I know at the end of the session, I'll go through the comments, and I'll try to answer as many questions from the comment as possible. So to start with, what is artificial intelligence? If we see the word artificial intelligence itself, it says there is an intelligence and it is artificial. So if you take the example of humans, when a kid is born, they have a near to a very limited intelligence. As they grow, they start gathering the knowledge. They acquire the skill of reasoning, as well as logical logic making skills. And then they use that knowledge to identify what is the best outcome for me, what is good for me, what is bad for me. So over the period, they build the intelligence. So it is called natural intelligence, wherein you are not where a human is not being trained, right? A kid learns himself or herself. So they are not taught specifically like this is true, this is false, but over the period of time they learn it. And even if they are not being told about to learn, they still can learn by looking at things, by listening to what other people are speaking. Now in case of computers, they don't have those natural intelligence, right? In fact, they don't have intelligence at all, or they have some intelligence through different softwares those are being implemented. So the purpose of the AI is basically to give that reasoning skill, is to basically allow the computer to build that knowledge which humans are able to do, to give them logical thinking the way humans are able to make the decisions. So similarly, the purpose of AI is to build a smart machine which are capable of taking decisions on their own, as well as performing the task automatically in a most efficient way. If they are not doing it in an efficient way, then the AI won't make sense. The other purpose is to enable humans to do their job more effectively, right? So if you look at in a traditional world, a traditional software, they help humans to do their work in a better way, in a smarter way. but still they are not able to provide the insightful insights which should have been part of the software itself. So say for example, if you're working on an accounting software, you might be able to do your daily accounting as part of your accounting software, but the accounting software won't intelligently tell you that, hey, your profit has gone by this many rupees down as compared to previous year, right? So those kind of intelligence, or it can even predict, like depending on how your past week has gone through, you may expect a certain kind of customers in the following week, and you need to ensure that you have sufficient inventories as well. So the AI helps us to do those kind of stuff. Now if you look at the lifetime of the AI, it's not something that has invented in last couple of years. It's in fact, back in 1945, somebody gave the first definition of artificial intelligence using mathematics. So a white paper was published saying how artificial intelligence can be built using mathematics. And then it took 5 years. So in 1950, the original definition of artificial intelligence was given to the world. Since then, 1955, the very first prototype of artificial intelligence was delivered, but it wasn't something that we can use in the real world. It was just a definition, and again, an on-paper sketch kind of thing. So that was based on neurons. It was defined. The architecture of the AI was defined based on the human neurons in 1958. And then in 1965, a new version of neuron was represented, which was more specific to computer, which is known as perceptron. So that was released in 1965. And then in 1989, the very first deep learning algorithm was introduced. And then from there we saw a gradual incremental updates in this field. So in 1997 we had the LSTM model, which is very well popular in the AI field. In 2012 AlexNet organized an online AlexNet architecture was published, and it was basically for image classification problems. So we'll see what is image classification and different things. Now, if you look at, it took many years for to come to this specific destination, which is 2020. But we are seeing this so much boom because there have been so many open source community contributing to this this field. And then the computing power that we had back in if I say around before 10 years and what we have now, one can have 6 GB of RAM on a mobile, which was hard to get around 10 years ago on a general purpose computer. So that has changed drastically the adoption of AI in the field of computer science. And so we'll see, like what are different spectrums or in the field of artificial intelligence. So in today's world, when we talk about artificial intelligence, most of the time people synonymally refer to machine learning. So artificial intelligence is a very wide branch, and machine learning, deep learning, automation and robotics, expert system and fuzzy logic are part of some of the part of these AI branch, which they try to solve certain kind of problems. So if we talk about machine learning, is a way in which linear algebra, calculus, differential and integrations are being used to derive certain kind of algorithms to solve the real world problems. So So basically, I can say like, if say talking about the accounting problem, like I can have a linear algebra equation which can predict like, what would be my sales in coming years. So that's how a deep learning model works. But it is not that simple. A very basic deep learning model would be based on a linear algebra, but it can be a logarithmic function or a sine, cosine, or a combination of many things. Now, so deep learning requires a lot of computation, and can solve. And also, one of the challenge with deep learning is it requires a lot of deep knowledge of the data, and one has to understand the statistics around the collected data. Now, in case of ML, in case of deep learning, which is more or less on neural network, right? In which case, the neural network itself can identify what are the key features or what are the key areas to look for, and then it can also allows you to change those features in a way so that it can give you more predictions in say for example, my sales was this X number on a previous day. What if I change my inventory to this or this, or what if I target my marketing to this specific skill, so that what would be the effect on my sales for tomorrow? So those kind of combinations is allowed in deep learning. Other than that, deep learning is widely used for natural language processing, which is basically, if you are speaking to a computer, the computer is able to understand what you are speaking, not only translate, but it can also understand whether the specific word or the sentence that is being spoken, whether it's a positive, whether it's a negative, what is the semantic, what information is being delivered, what are the main keywords around, what can be a summary of the entire essay. So those kind of problems can be handled in the natural language processing. In case of computer vision, we'll see the examples later in the slide, wherein given a specific image or a camera feed, the computer is able to identify how many persons are present in a specific field in the specific image, or what are different objects in a given image, or it can even also say whether this specific person is a male or female, or it's a dog or a cat. So those kind of problems can be solved with the help of computer vision. Automation and robotics. So, if we see the current automation and robotics, those are kind of pre-built programs which work in a very certain way. But then, with the help of AI, those behaviors of robotics and automation can be changed. So, depending on, say, for example, if you have written an automatic way of getting the data from some website, right? You can add the intelligence so that it behaves differently depending on different time zones. Expert systems are basically computer programs wherein you can supply some certain kind of input, and the expert system itself can apply some logic to deliver the most efficient output for a given scenario. Fuzzy logic is if we talk about computer programs, it is more of a true or false kind of scenario. What fuzzy logic does is instead of giving a true or false, it can give you the nearest solutions as well. So say for example, when I'm typing on my computer, on my mobile or a computer, even if I mistype, it can still suggest me like what can be the nearest matching keyword, rather than saying, hey, this word is not is correct or false. So that's where fuzzy logic helps in matching the nearest word or something. Now, if we talk about the how AI is being used in day-to-day life, so all of us have searched on Google, and Google uses artificial intelligence, especially machine learning, to identify, like, what could be the most relevant search for a specific user. So as soon as you start typing, it can suggest you, like, what could be the search that the user is trying to type. So the other is email drafting, wherein if you are using Gmail or even Yahoo or even Microsoft Word, so it can, while you are writing down a specific sentence, it can tell you, like, whether there are spelling mistakes. It can even tell you, whether there are grammatical mistakes, whether there are punctuation mistakes or not. So machine learning algorithms, especially in this specific case, which is natural language processing, it can even suggest you, instead of using a specific word, you can use this synonym word, which can give you a more appropriate context to your message. The other most frequently used AI solution is email spam detector. So whenever you send an email, how does your computer identifies that whether a specific email is a spam or not? So this is also the most frequent AI application that we use in our day-to-day life. The other is e-commerce marketing. So if you have gone to any e-commerce website such as Flipkart or maybe Amazon, when you navigate through different pages of different products, at somewhere on the page, you will see, like, what people have been buying along with a specific product. It can even tell you, like, if you buy this, you can also buy this, or it can tell you, like, these two products can be combined so that you can have some discounts. So those kind of intelligence can be built. Those are actually built to do the upsell and even cross sell, so the companies can sell more. Knowledge search. So I can give you an example from one of the project that we did for our client from Canada. So the client is having a law firm, and the law firm is between state and is a guideline for investor for a state laws. So what they do is, like, they have different judgments given by different courts against to different companies. So basically, say for example, there is an XYZ company who is fighting a cause against a specific state government in so and so country. Now that information is available as web pages or as a PDF documents. Now how can we allow the law students or a lawyer who is fighting a similar kind of case in a different country, and how can they can easily search those kind of documents so that they can build their own case in a specific country, and some of the arguments against which a specific decision was given in a specific court, that can help the lawyer to build their own case, and then probably it can help them win the case as well. So that's how the law, the raw data which is sitting as a text or PDF, that can be converted into knowledge for the user, so that they can use that in their day-to-day life. Movie reviews. So if people gives reviews over different social media platforms, wherein they write down text, their comments, like how they felt about a specific movie, and then those can be taken up to gauge how whether what was people's reaction for a specific movie. It can also help you further to movie producers as well, like this certain age of people are liking this kind of movie, and this is how their trend is behaving. So what can be done for what kind of movie can be delivered in a future, so that people would like those kind of movie. So those kind of studies can be done as well. political landscape. So this is again similar to what I talk about movie review. So usually you can see on Facebook and other social media platform that different political parties pushed about different activities that they did, and then when you like it, or when you comment it, or when you post your post, that is in a simple word, but simple words, but the AI engine can definitely identify whether this a specific post is a political or not, and whether it is biased towards which political party as well. And they can group they can create clusters as well to identify, like these many people are pointing towards a specific party, and these peoples are towards another specific party, which can help the parties to run their marketing campaigns as well. Facebook and YouTube video recommendations. So these are specific kind of recommendation system in the world of machine learning, or right. So you can have recommendations on product, you can have recommendations on movies, you can have recommendations on videos, even you can have recommendation on books. So if I read a specific kind of book, which book would be most suitable for my needs? So those kind of things can also be done with artificial intelligence. The most recent and interesting machine learning research paper was delivered on COVID. So the researcher did wrote down a machine learning algorithm wherein they will ask patients to do the x-rays of their chest over a week, and then they will use that data to identify whether a specific person is having COVID or not. So that's how they use machine learning to effectively in a low cost identify, like whether a specific person is having a COVID or not. Of course, there was a difference between there could be a possibility of COVID versus pneumonia, but but again, like the study was effective, and it was able to actually identify, like the person can have a COVID or not. So and when that prediction says yes, they can go ahead and do the COVID test, which can help reducing the cost for carrying out the COVID tests. We can see some more applications. So in the first image, you can see, basically, when you supply an image, the deep learning algorithm or the AI can effectively say that whether there is a dog or not, and it can show you highlighted as well. There was this another study in 2011 that was carried out in Germany, wherein they basically identify, like what is the effectiveness of classifying an image for a computer versus human, and the computer was able to beat human accuracy as well. So you can see the human accuracy was 98%, whereas the computer was able to classify by 99.46%. So basically the classification was given an image, whether a specific image shows a traffic signal or not. On the third image, given an image, it can identify more than one object. So if you look at the first, it can say that there is a grand piano in the image, there is a folding chair as well, there is a rocking chair as well, there is a dining table, and then there is a upright piano. So not just saying yes or no, which were the earlier scenarios wherein it would say whether this is a signal traffic signal image or not, but it can do further analysis on specific object as well. So given an image, it can say there is a chair, there is a human, there is a female, the light at the top, at the bottom. So those kind of classifications and object detection can be done with the AI as well. On the right side, you can see that which we have seen in if you're using Facebook you might have seen these as well, wherein, given a photo, it can say whether a specific person, how many persons are there. It can further say, like, whether a specific person is a boy or a girl, and then it can also even to further say, like, what is their age, or it can also say, like, this person is so and so person. So it automatically starts tagging based on what you have tagged previously. So again, this is the application of AI. I would rather specifically say a deep learning. And in the last image, not only just identifying the faces, but it can also tell you what is the expression that a specific user is giving. So you can see, like, it is saying, like, the both the girl and the man both are surprised by looking at something. So this kind of further detections can be done with the help of AI. So we saw some general applications of AI. Now we'll see how this can be helpful in the field of educations as well. So AI can be used for digitizing the textbooks. By digitization, I don't mean by simply converting the raw documents into PDF, but rather more searchable documents. So usually what we have seen is, like, while the students are reading those documents, while preparing for the exam, they are reading those documents, and suddenly they there is a spark in their mind, like, okay, I need to go and refer to this specific, I have these questions, or I have this doubt. And then they start looking at those different pages, and they are not able to easily identify, okay, this is the where exactly this point is written. So that way, artificial intelligence can help you to pinpoint to a specific location which can solve your doubts. It can you can have a virtual assistant which can help solve a specific kind of queries. And again, like, a specific AI, a virtual assistant cannot solve all the questions. So depending on, like, a virtual assistant for mathematics, which can help you solve a specific kind of problem, given that this is the equation, what kind of different solution can be. So those kind of virtual assistant can be built not only for maths, but for different subjects as well. It can also help in self-learning experience, wherein given that depending on given my grading system, it can tell me, like, hey, you can go ahead and watch these specific or attend this specific training, or this specific uh, topic on our education platform, which will help you to strengthen your skills in that in the and overcome your difficulties. So these are some of ways wherein AI can help a teacher. They can help the education system as well. One of the like, in the previous slide we talked, we saw how face recognition can be done. Probably AI can help can monitor the face expressions of students, and then as well as of teacher as well, and then it can evaluate what is the quality of education that is being delivered in the class, and it can be tracked over a period of time to derive a specific conclusion. So this is how different ways AI, machine learning, and deep learning can help solve different problems in education. So um, so I covered almost all the applications as well as in the field of educations. If you have any questions, I'll ask. I'll suggest that you write down in the comments, and then I'll be able to help you answer those questions as well. If you have more queries, if you're interested more in the field of AI, especially machine learning, deep learning, I can definitely help you, with the right material which can help you to progress further. Thank you.